Sego, back again. This is Big House, Guanalacqua, Iroquois Mohawk, from the St. Regis Indian Reservation, or now known as Akwesasne, place where the partridge drum. Much better name. Hogansburg, New York, and I find it a little comical because they finally decided, wait a minute, Hogansburg, there are no Hogans that live here. I'm not even sure there ever was a Hogan. We're not calling it that anymore. We're calling it Akwesasne, place where partridge drum. Where was I? Oh yes, pain and death. I guess one of the hardest things to take in the hospital in Ithaca was a very close friend of mine, Howie. Now Howie was left in a basket on the front steps of the hospital, and one of the nurses coming on duty at like 6 o'clock in the morning found the basket with him as a newborn. Howie had a thing called brittle bones. Brittle bones is where your body and your marrow doesn't know that it's supposed to hold the calcium given it to harden the crust on your bones so you have a skeleton. What you have for a skeleton is more like I guess like a stalk of celery. It has the shape, but it has no strength. You can't bend it. You could break his fingers or his arms or his legs just by touching him or trying to pick him up. So very, very brittle. Now, life expectancy for brittle bone syndrome is probably 6 months at best, because usually the mother will hug the baby or try to bathe it or whatever and crush its lungs and kill it. So it's not so much the body can stand it, but the people dealing with you don't. And if they found if you somehow survive to about 7 or 8 years old, they could, and a good diet, they could start to re-break your bones and shape them, put them in little casts, because you don't grow very big. I mean, even at 5 years old, you're not much bigger than about a 2-year-old child, taller, because you just don't, well, whatever, you don't grow well. But at the age of 7, they'll start breaking your bones about 3 to 5 at a time, depending on how much pain you can stand, and putting you in casts. And by the age of 9 to 11, on a very, very strict, good diet, high calcium diet and vitamins and all that stuff, your bones will harden and you will literally be able to stand up. Well, Howie is, he's about 7.5, and he started a year before. Now understand, Howie is in 2 body casts, one in the daytime, which sits him up in a, almost like a wooden horse, and one in the nighttime, which lays him down so that he's stretched out and he can't move. He's velcroed into this so that he can't accidentally, in his dreams, have a nightmare and hurt himself or break a bone. They figure by the age of 15, he's already broken his bones about 1,100 times, and they just keep re-breaking. So they started about a year before, as he turned 6.5 and his diet was good, his bones were hardening, they started breaking his bones. He could stand. Now he wanted 10 bones broken at once. They did 4 to 6, depending on the size of the bone, every 3 months. Put him in a cast, and then even with that bone not totally mended, they went on to break more bones to rush. You get a lot of bones in your body. Anyway, he's 7.5 years old. He has one wish in life. All he wants to do, he'll go again. If I keep my nose from running and grossing you out, it'll be a good day. All Howie's only wish in life is to stand at home plate, hit a baseball, and run to first base. That's his only wish. So at 7.5, they have started to build braces to get him standing, not walking, but standing upright, which he'd never done in his life, never even dreamed it possible. So one morning, a student nurse doing her duty with all good intentions came in to give Howie his morning bath. She opened up the top shell. He was like a turtle. He called himself a turtle. That was always upside down. She opened up his top shell and began to bathe him. And as she got him soaped up, picked him up to turn him over, and by mistake she dropped him on the floor and broke 2 of his ribs off and punctured his lung. She turned him over and he could hardly draw a breath. He smiled at her and said, "You didn't mean it. It's not your fault." I jumped off my bed to try to hold him. And he said, "Okay, Hoop. You're going to have to run to first base for me." And his eyes rolled back and he passed to the next plane. He died that morning on a Friday at 7:30 in my arms. I've never been able to run because I don't have very good legs, but as soon as I got out of the hospital, I went to the baseball game and asked the coach if I could try to hit one to see if I qualified, but that wasn't the reason. And I hit the ball, fell twice getting to first base, but it never felt so good in all my life. Anyway, sorry, enjoy the scenery for a second. So in short, don't dare give me any of this crap about pain and death being something bad, or the Grim Reaper. I walked with him 4 times, and I begged the Creator twice to take me then, and he refused me. I consider being vomited or thrown back, and as I lay there on the ground looking up in a pool of vomit going, why not? And for some reason, I'm still here. So, let me make a short story long here. The reason I travel, I'm in a stretcher that they tell me I'm never getting out of. Just get used to it. I'm going to be in a wheelchair or stretcher all my life. My legs are not coming back. I'm looking at a house across the street from the hospital. And across the street is about a 2.5, 3-story house with school fences built on both sides, 10-foot beautiful school fences. In between them is this house. Now the lawns are manicured on both sides and they're beautifully kept, but there is nothing but dirt at this one house. And at this one house are 7 black children playing in the yard, and they play so vibrantly that the grass can't grow. And there's usually about 14 kids over there playing. I think it was a Kool-Aid house maybe. Over there playing, so this yard got a good workout. But I sat there in this hospital with a stretcher, in traction. At this point, I'm not fastened down to the bed because your body quits struggling. But I know I feel I'm never going to get out of this hospital, or this bed. And I'm looking at any one of those kids can walk around that fence and go anywhere in this world. But they didn't know it. I'm stuck in this stretcher, and I will go anywhere in this world, but I can't. So I vowed to myself, you cut me loose of this bed, and I am going to see everything I can, meet everybody I can, experience everything I can, and knowing that it just wasn't possible, but give me the chance. So along came a doctor from Cornell University, studying there, and just about done his internship, came up and said, I've got a controversial, risky operation. They think it's going to put you on your feet. And I said, well, all right, what is it? Because we got offers at times from doctors, but weird kind of operations, the kind of Frankenstein-y stuff. Anyway, I said, what is it? He said, well, we're going to take and cut wedges out of your bone and insert bone wedges from a cadaver, from a dead person. And I said, well, what are the chances of it working? He says, well, it's going to teach your marrow how to produce blood cells and hold calcium. And even if it doesn't, the strong wedge, the new fresh wedge, will give us enough strength to get you maybe on your feet. But I said, yeah, but what's the chances of it? What's the percentage? And he said, tops maybe 11%. I went, perfect. Let's do it. I've got 0% now. He said, but it's going to take 4 operations, each a year apart, and they're going to be painful. I said, bring it on. Well, at the third one, he's standing at the edge of my bed and in recovery and in tears. And I said, am I dead? He goes, no, you're not dead. I need one more operation. I lied to you. And I said, I don't believe you lied to me. If you need one more, let's do it. A year later, he operated on me again and got me in braces and crutches. And within 5 months, they taught me to walk again, upright, and they released me. Kids in school, if you're on crutches and braces and you're walking around, you're pretty much to them a retard, and you're fair game. And they were brutal. Within a week, I ditched the crutches, and within a couple of days, like Forrest Gump, I ditched them damn braces and just hobbled around, but came to the realization that I may not be like everybody else. And seriously, up to that point, I didn't know any different. Children don't. You grow up thinking whatever you're going through, good, bad, or indifferent, is the same thing everybody else is going through. So why complain about it? Let's just, go on, play baseball or go swimming or do whatever you're going to do. You don't know any different. But I came to realize that I'm probably not like everybody else. So I stopped caring about being like anybody else. So if I'm different, I'm happy for it. But they also cut me loose, and I have traveled every moment of my life that I can be out there, meeting new people, doing things, trying it, and I've tried everything. I have no bucket list left. At this point today, in 2017, I'm 66 years old. With polio, you're supposed to be back in the wheelchair or crutches or disabled by 40. So I'm the luckiest man on earth. I am not complaining, except for my runny nose, one little bit, and I refuse to. If it's pain in it, give it to me. And if there's death, accept the gift. But don't give me that crap. It hurts, because the hurt is a blessing. You know you're alive. Sorry for the blubbering. This is Big House, Native American storyteller and story finder. I've got 666 more chapters to go, so if you're watching, brace yourself. Here we go. Ona. Means see you later, or see you on the next lap. No goodbye in Indian.